Well, one of the things at this time of year is we always refer back to the 7 habits of highly effective people, because I think that's a message we try to deliver to our players year round. And in the 7 habits, the 7th habit is sharpen your saw. Do you know the story?
No.
No?
No, it's not a story.
So, Dr. Stephen Covey wrote a book, bestseller, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People is really the habits you should develop to be successful at whatever you do. The 7th habit is sharpen your saw, which relates to 2 lumberjacks who are competing for the world championship, and they're going to saw down trees from 8 in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, the winner being declared the world champion. And at 5 o'clock, when the competition is over and they declare the champion, the guy who finished second says, "That's impossible. There's no way you could have beat me, because I started at 8, I went to 5, I never stopped for a single second." And he asked the champion, "How in the world were you able to beat me?" He said, "Well, every hour on the hour I stopped, I rested, and I sharpened my saw." The message really being that to play at your best, to be at your best, you got to be sharp. And to be sharp, you need to recover from all the hard work that you put in. So we took Tuesday and Wednesday completely off. And we had a great practice yesterday. There was lots of energy, very good execution. And hopefully today, it'll be a little shorter today because we always shorten practice the day before a game. Hopefully we'll be very sharp again today, and then we've got to get ready to compete at a very high level against a Boston College team that I think has proven itself to be a very formidable opponent to everyone in the ACC. You look at their wins over like Duke University to start the conference regular season race, and you have to be impressed. To see what Jerome Robinson and Kai Bowman have done in terms of their scoring, where Jerome is the leading scorer in the league and Kai Bowman is one of the leading scorers. I also think they have more experience than we do. They've got an older team and they've got really good size, and we had a very challenging game against them in Boston, and unfortunately we came up on the short end, but losing by 2 points.
Is your team practice like it's played? Sounds like sometimes that hasn't been the case. Going into games you thought you were going to play better than...
Yeah, I would say that's true. We're not as consistent a team as I would like, as we would like as overall as a group. But I always think, you know, when you have 5 freshmen and 4 sophomores, this is really new for all these guys. You know, once we lost Bruce Brown, you know, Bruce was really our emotional leader. He has a lot of great qualities as a person, and I think one of the things is he has such a high competitive spirit, and I think that's what's going to carry him in his lifetime, that he likes challenges and he rises to the occasion whenever he's challenged. And when we lost him, we were able, for a short period of time, to make up for his loss, because I think guys were really felt the responsibility. And you had guys like Lonnie Walker and Anthony Lawrence really step up. But over a period of time, that kind of wears off, and you need someone else. And you know, maybe you're hoping Bruce is going to be back, but no, that's no longer in the thinking. We're really thinking, got to get ready for Boston College. Bruce is not practicing. Who's going to step up and play well? And what we found in our last game, it was Buka Zundu. You know, he stepped up. He got those offensive rebounds. He got those interior buckets that we so desperately need.
Can you talk a little more about him? That was going to be my question. Just the way he played in that second half was, I mean, what...
You know, one of the things that I was greatly concerned about, Jay Billis asked me the question about why I changed the starting lineup. And I was explaining to them, the ESPN folks, that people are focused on our offense, that we didn't score much against Virginia or Syracuse. I said, that really was not our coach's concern. Nobody scores much against Virginia, and we just didn't shoot the ball well against Syracuse. We weren't as good, but our main concern was about our defense and rebounding. That when we defend and we rebound well, we get out to the open court more. We get out to the open court more. We normally score at a much higher rate. So the coaches examined our statistics over the course of the season, and we decided maybe the best thing to do was insert Buka into the starting lineup and give us a bigger front court, a bigger presence on the inside. Buka's one of our best, if not our best, shot blocker. And if we get a couple of block shots, a couple of more defensive rebounds, maybe we get a couple more fast breaks. And he just rose to the occasion, you know, moving into the starting lineup. He seemed to play with a great deal of confidence. And at the end, he had 4 fouls. Probably the most impressive thing, he played the last 8 minutes of the game with 4 fouls. And didn't foul out. He made the key buckets for us when we missed our first attempt. If he were not in there, that's a missed shot and an opportunity for Notre Dame to take the lead. We were down, no, I'm sorry, we were up 2, I believe, on 2 different occasions.
Yeah, he had 2 putbacks.
And he put them both back within the last minute. So if those were misses and stops, who knows what the final score would have been. So you got to give him a lot of credit for playing with that kind of confidence and determination, and to play with great poise. There was even a play, it was a side out of bounds play where Jaquan Newton was inbounding to Chris Likes, and Chris got denied. And Buka came to the rescue, caught the inbounds pass, kind of got double teamed, handed it off to Jaquan Newton, who got double teamed. He split the double team, gave it to Anthony Lawrence, who made a layup and a free throw to give us then a 5-point cushion. The play that Buka made then is not an easy play. He was tight roping around the mid-court line, so he could have easily gone backcourt. He had to catch it under duress, and he had to hand it off calmly. He did all those things. And no one would even give credit because it doesn't show up in a statistical category. Oh, he caught the ball. He handed it off. No, there's no categories for that.
How does he match up with, you talked about the
Yeah, it's real good. This is the second game in a row. He'll have a big guy that I think he matches up with very well. Popovich is a very skilled big man, played very well against us the first time. He even hit one of his threes this year against us. He made a 3-pointer in the first half that hurt us.
This time of year, it's always important to finish playing your best basketball going into the tournament, even though it's close, you know, a couple weeks away. Is that part of the challenge, like not being afraid to make a change like that, finding the best and going forward? I mean, is that part of the challenge of this year?
Yeah. When I tell our players and tell people, coaching is a lot of guesswork. Now, they're educated guesses. You know, I get a chance to watch the guys practice, and we see a guy's playing well. You tend to go with him. But you're guessing, like, should we stick with our man-to-man defense or should we go zone? Who should match up with who? Should Lonnie Walker guard the point guard, the 2-guard, or the 3-man? And who should we start at the point? Should we start Chris Likes or Jaquan Newton? There's so many questions that you ask. And you might think you ask them once and then the decision is made. You're asking yourself that constantly throughout every game. All right? So we start the game, you have a starting lineup, and after 3 or 4 minutes, I turn to my staff at the 16-minute mark when the first TV time out is coming, should we sub? And sometimes it's, yeah, we're playing really hard, we need to get some fresh bodies in there. The other day against Notre Dame, I don't think we had our first substitution until the second TV timeout at the 12-minute mark. We went with those 8 guys for a very long period of time. Some games are sub in the first 2 minutes for whatever reason.
How eager are you? You missed the last Boston College game. You were sick for that one. So is there any special significance that you want to be out there?
There is to me. I missed that one. I'm excited to get back and be healthy this time around. Yeah, we're all competitors. You know, coaches, we compete for everything. You know, you compete in the recruiting world. You compete for recognition. And you compete for how many times you're on TV, you compete in the game, within the game, whose strategy is better, who executes better. And just like our players, you've got to outwork and outplay your opponent.
To see your team
The other
down,
change you made the other day was putting Jaquan back in the starting lineup. What was the thinking there? Was it just that he's been playing well off the bench? But I mean,
Well, he has been playing well off the bench, but Chris Lights has been terrific as a starter. So it wasn't anything negative against Chris. What it was is we were looking for more size and more rebounding. The size was for the defensive presence, because we felt like if the defense improves and the rebounding improves, the offense will follow. And Jaquan is a more experienced player, and he's been playing good defense off the bench, and we felt like let's put him in, because Matt Farrell, who just went off for 37 points, we can't afford for him to just go crazy and lead Notre Dame to a huge night.
to see your team down a few points in a place like South Bend, and to see them maintain that discipline, to fight through it. Does that show a sense of growth for you guys, especially for some of the younger guys?
That's maybe the best performance of the year so far. Hopefully it's not. Maybe we'll have some better performances in these next few games. But when you lead by 9 at halftime and are behind by 5 with 7 or 8 minutes to go, it doesn't look good for you. And for us to go on a 13-0 run, to shut them down with our defense, and then to score at a high level in several different ways. Lonnie Walker scoring, Abuka Zundu's offensive rebound scoring, Sam Wardenberg hitting a 3. All of those things blend very well together to give you the kind of result you're looking for at the end of a close game.
Earlier you were saying that this is new for a lot of the freshmen and sophomores. So in that group, who's acting like a veteran, like they've been there before, maybe other guys are looking to them as like a source of,
Well, despite the fact he didn't play a lot the other day, DJ Vasilovich, I think, has had a very good year. He's been very much a leader. Now, as I said, Bruce Brown is kind of our emotional leader. I think DJ is kind of our vocal leader. He talks a lot. He talks to his teammates. If you noticed after the game, when they interviewed Buka on TV, 2 guys ran over and chest bumped him. Jaquan Newton and DJ Vasilovich. That's the kind of leadership you want. That's the kind of leadership that DJ demonstrates all the time.
is there any difference in approach to playing the second meeting against a team you lost to when you've beaten?
I think the approach with players is very, very different. I think when you've beaten a team, there's almost a tendency to relax. When you've lost to a team, there's a little bit more, I think, of a focus to even the score. They call it the revenge factor, but I think it's just more of the competitive nature. You don't want to lose to the same team twice in the same season.
Okay, one more question.
Do you have an update on Bruce and his timetable? Anything new there?
Bruce told me this morning it was set for March the 12th. Not to come back, just that's the date they will reevaluate. So March the 12th will be a doctor's appointment and to see how he's progressed so far. But until then, there's really no news. We're just waiting for the bone to heal.
Can I ask one last thing? Do you have any comment on that report today with all the schools named and all the hubbub about college basketball and it's not mentioned, but
We've been very focused on our own situation and doing everything we can to be sure that the University of Miami is behaving in a first-class manner. So it's all about our own reputation. It doesn't have to do with any other school or any other players except our own. And so we're focused on getting ready for Boston College now. That's kind of going to be our approach.